Bank of Ghana has increased the monetary policy rate by 100 basis points. That means they have increased the rate by 1%. What is monetary policy rate? So monetary policy rate basically is the rate at which Bank of Ghana loans to other central banks. So it means, like in basic language, how much or what rate Bank of Ghana gives loans to other banks. So that's what we call the monetary policy rate. And the monetary policy rate forms the basis for the loans that banks charge in this country. So when banks are going to charge rate, they use what we call the Ghana reference rate. The Ghana reference rate is made up of the monetary policy rate, it's made up of treasury bills, and also made up of inflation. At the moment, we have treasury bill rate dropping, we have inflation being stable around 23%, and then monetary policy rate has been increased. What's the impact for you and I as an investor? The first thing we need to know is that when monetary policy rates go up, it means that loan rate goes up. And when loan rate goes up, it means that loan become expensive for the citizens. And if people are not able to take loan, it means that money in circulation will reduce. People will not have enough money to spend. And that is one of the ways that governments upon government have used to reduce the rate at which people spend. And that brings inflation down at some point in time. However, when the monetary policy rate goes up and treasury bill remains lower or comes down, it has a bit of a mismatch in the economy. Now, people who ordinarily would have invested their money because the loan is very expensive and they want to keep their money for higher interest rate are not able to do that because they look at treasury bill rate and the rate is lower than inflation. So government through Bank of Ghana will have to try to bring all these three components together. Otherwise, if time people begin to move to other forms of investment, that may not be through the banking sector. So government has a very difficult task to ensure that even though they are moving MPC rate up, which means that loan rates are going up, they find ways and means to bring down inflation, which will make treasury bills very appealing to people, because inflation at the moment is still 23%, and that is higher than the returns investors are getting on their treasury bills, and that in itself makes a bit of net effect for people who are investing in treasury bills. So government will have a big task to be able to ensure that they bring all these things up. However, once the MPC begins to go up, it also gives an indication that potentially you should expect treasury bill rates to begin to rise. That's also a potential from this particular announcement. We have to wait and see what government intends to do with this particular hike in the monetary policy rate. We hope that with time, things will begin to stabilize, inflation should come down. Otherwise, then we begin to expect that treasury bill rates will begin to rise again as investors will begin to now consider it as another option that they can invest their money in. If you all know, at the last trading market, treasury bill rate remained the same, almost the same, 15%. I'll come your way with the full details of the rate, but this is just to update you that MPC has been increased by 1%. That means that effectively loans that will be booked from now on will begin to experience some upward adjustment in the rate. And that means that if care is not taken, businesses will not be able to expand, because most businesses feed on loans as a way of expanding their business, and once it becomes expensive, they can't go for these loans. People will not have enough money in terms of getting monies from loans to be able to live their life. So that's the update, and I'll come your way once there's a change or government comes another way by giving us update on whether MPC will begin to reduce or not. The governor said in this report that once they assess the inflation situation, if there's the need for them to bring it down, they will do that. So let's wait. This is just their first MPC, the new governor. Let's hope that things will begin to stabilize in the country in terms of exchange rate, in terms of inflation, and all other indicators that affect the economy.